Imagine the Terminator going into a bar and virtually scanning the room, and virtually every section you would see these pixelated things to where he would read what his environment was. You do the same thing with the hand.
All right, there's been a lot of hubbub, a lot of hullabaloo.
Is tracing cheating?
Is tracing cheating?
And determine whether or not it's a form of cheating.
It's okay to trace. Ooh, it's a touchy subject.
Do you trace, or do you suffer for your art, or do you do what all great artists and the masters do, is to virtually suffer and soldier and try to break down what you're actually trying to create?
Don't get all testy with him just because you got a problem with your station in life.
Oh, I'm secure with what I do.
Then just say it. You're a tracer.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hi, pigs.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Henry Haight. I am a multidisciplinary artist, and if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. My pronouns are...
Your mother's a tracer!
And...
Shut up!
Today's episode is on the hot topic of tracing. Is it cheating? Is it copying? Is it art theft? What's the issue? As I've said in other videos, there's a lot of controversy over this, a lot of hullabaloo, a lot of hubbub about, do you trace, or do you suffer for your art, or do you do what all great artists and the masters do, is to virtually suffer and soldier and try to break down what you're actually trying to create, rather than take the easy way out of tracing. Throughout history, there have been many products or processes like the camera obscura, the silhouette grid method, where you use a candle or a source of light to project the person's silhouette image and then virtually trace that using a grid system. Now, I don't necessarily see tracing as cheating. Here's why. We have the left and right side of our brain. We still have to do a dance with both our left and right side of our brain. I know several artists I use a projector in tattooing. I had a light box when I would make a stencil, so a blueprint, and I would still have to deal with the mathematical equations of light, direction, composition, as well as geometric shapes of how I was going to virtually master the artwork. Right side is the more nonverbal, emotional, creative, adventurous, spontaneous part of our brain. The verbal, the scientific, the orientative. And still, when we are tracing, one of the things that we have to deal with is right field of vision, which is the left side of the brain, and the left field of vision, which is the right side of the brain. Did I say that? With the Riley method, you're breaking things down into geometric forms and stuff. We never use the camera obscura, where it would project things upside down and stuff. Right now I'm working on a painting, and when I use my projector, I'm actually, time is money. And if I'm working on a grand scale, I need something to help me assist. If you look at murals in every city, large murals, to help paint those, they virtually they burn little small holes through paper to virtually allow an outline of that, so that they have a format to virtually gauge the sequence and composition and scale of something. So it's not like someone's going to scale a 40-foot wall and just figure it out freehand. There are things you can do to help allow you to become better at drawing and virtually add into your tracing. One of them is to learn the 5-minute rule, virtually trying to draw your hand. Artists I hate painting hands, because one, within compositions and positioning is always tricky. As I said in one of my videos, an artist, I forgot his name, he lost his shit when an art critic said his hand looked like a rotisserie chicken. However, sometimes I actually spend 5 minutes just to sharpen my skills and apply the mathematical equations and the rule of thirds in drawing my hand within 5 minutes. So imagine you are an artist trying to virtually master your skills. When I was training tattoo artists, I would always mention, imagine that you're going into a bar and virtually scanning the room, and virtually every section you would see these pixelated things to where he would read what his environment was. You do the same thing with the hand. And rather than actually recreating the hand, you're trying to learn to manifest shapes that make up the hand. And virtually the more you do it, the better you get at breaking down shapes rather than trying to recreate line per line, or just to recreate the hand, or whatever you're trying to draw, a vase, flower, doesn't matter. All the principles are the same. There are people who say that if you are tracing, you are cheating yourself of the fundamental principles and rules of drawing. And yes, to his degree, that argument can hold water. However, you still have to think in what context. So, if I'm painting 38 by 47 or 38 by 48 canvas, and I'm trying to sit there and draw it, that blueprint can change. I still have a composite that I'm working from, a source material. I am copying it and putting it there. And virtually, some artists work from a grid method. I know Chuck Close uses that. And the argument of tracing is cheating, with you virtually cutting out the fundamentals. However, if I'm tattooing and I'm pressured for time, I'm not going to sit there and freehand something. I have freehanded tattoos, but the whole thing is that I know in my head I have the fundamentals, and I still have to do the dance with the left and right side of my brain. Now, if I'm trying to recreate, say, when I do the Amy Love hearts on tattoo clients, I just make the stencil, I copy it. It's not rocket science. I'm just recreating what is something. However, a lot of artists, when they have source material and they make a composite and they trace, the artwork itself can still change, because when they're visually standing in front of a piece of art and they're trying to create something, that artwork, it even when in my own practice, it can change, where I'm like, in theory it sounds great, but I know this is where my right side of the brain has to say, this is not reading right. Then I have to gauge, my left side is telling me, no, it's the sequence is off. So therefore, that's where the dance with your left and right side of the brain versus become one, and then you have to listen to those things. So in that sense, no, I do not believe that tracing is cheating. It is just one aspect and one tool of how we create art. Now, the fundamentals of, say, like anime or tattooing, there are golden rules that we have to abide by, say like a traditional rose or a manga drawing. You have to have these design aspects in order for the brain of a viewer to sit there and go, oh, that's anime, that's a traditional rose. We still have to abide by those design principles determined by that style. We can still say, well, you're not really going out, you're staying within the lines, you're basically tracing and copying. But art is subjective. So with that, I would say cut yourself some slack and give yourself some time to learn your left and right side of the brain and learn how to virtually read and draw and paint what you're going to create. Because from your aspect of it, unlike buildings, like architectural buildings, they have to stick to a rigid structure because of the principles of weight, wind, all those things, and virtually that keep a building erect and to last a long time. Art has a little more free form to it, and it is one thing to use it as a tool. You can bend the rules and virtually change it, and that's where the beauty of what putting your stamp on something comes to effect. I still believe that you still need to abide by certain principles of drawing and composition and all those things that make a good piece of art. It can turn a great drawing or great work into a masterpiece. And all artists virtually strive to create in however long. I've been at this maybe, 30 years. And I'm still trying to do it. So with that, I say, fuck everybody, trace a little, and have fun. And virtually, tracing is not a bad word. You heard it here. So, anyways, thank you for visiting. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification for any updates. And leave a comment, like, share, hate mail, whatever. Thank you for everyone that's been watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Keep creating and look after yourselves. Bye.
Oh no!